Ah,
There we go.
there we go. Right then. A few technical hitches there. Okay then. Well, I, the Catman from Catman's Rocks on Voodoo Radio Online. I'm joined by the one and the only Virgin Mary's. Good evening, Danny. Good evening, Ali.
Good evening, mate. Nice one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm very well. How are you?
Good, mate. Yeah, good. It's been a long day in the studio. We've just been we've planned to do a new album this year, so we've got all the songs. We're sort of doing pre-production at the moment, but in between, we're going on tour with Sisters again, Sister Mercy, from
Cool.
Monday, and then back again, do pre-production, and then we're back out again with Ugly Kid Joe. So it's just trying to find the time where we can just get in the studio and get the
Yeah.
nuts and bolts down for the songs.
Okay. So, tell us who you are and what first got you into music, and what's the story behind the formation of Virgin Mary's?
Um, well, um, I I guess how it started. I'm the drummer, and I always wanted to be a guitar player. My dad would never buy me a guitar. He wanted me to be a drummer. I had a load of drum kits around the house when I was a kid growing up. Never played the drums, and then I got to about 13. Light bulb moment went off. Wanted to be a drummer, and then my dad refused to buy me a kit, so I had to learn on a little crappy little kit that you can't even tune in. You like from Argos, and
My first
that
drum
was
kit.
it then. Yeah, and then I was a drummer, and then 16 went to college, met Al, and since then me and Al have always been in bands. We were in different bands before Virgin Marys, and
Hmm.
um, yeah, been everywhere. Had deals in LA, and the whole kind of, and then lost all the songs, all that kind of
Hmm.
what you hear about that happens to bands. That sort of happened to us. So yeah.
Right. Okay. So, what's going down in Virgin Mary's at the minute?
Yeah, I mean, we've been planning to do a new album for the last couple of years, really. Last year, we just decided it'd be better off to just release an EP. It's our first recordings as a two-piece. Um, and then, yeah, this year, it's all about a brand new album. And as I say, it's just trying to find the time to get in the studio and actually record them. So at the minute, we're doing pre-production. We're starting a like 2.5 week tour with Sisters of Mercy around Europe
Very cool.
um, from Monday, and then we'll be back around start of February. We'll be back in the studio. Hopefully, get the majority of the album recorded then. Then we're going to go
Mhm.
back out for a month with Ugly Kid Joe, and if there's anything that needs finishing in April, we'll finish it in April. And yeah, hopefully, I think the plan is to have the album out sort of October, November next year, and do a full tour. We've got the song. I think we've got the titles and stuff. So yeah, it's nearly done.
Yeah, busy times ahead then. So,
Yeah,
which
mate. Yeah.
artists or yeah, sorry, which artists or bands do you turn to for inspiration?
Hmm. We've always been big Beatles fans, but I was actually listening to John Lennon around Christmas time. Kind of forget when you've heard them so many times, you kind of forget how good and how much of an influence they've been on you. Um,
Yeah.
but I can definitely hear John Lennon's voice in kind of certain
Mhm.
styles that I go for. As
Yeah.
for looking for inspiration now, I get it from anything. I can listen to what's coming out in the rock scene. I listen to a lot of hip hop and
Mhm.
just anything, to be honest, that I consider um, good. But yeah, that can be anything.
Mm. How about you, Danny?
Yeah, I think it's similar. Really, it could be anything, whatever we're listening to.
Yeah.
We were doing a track. We were recording it in a place in Worcester a couple of weeks
Mhm.
ago, and talking about the song and talking about things like Roxy music and stuff. And so for us, I think it could be anything. It could be like, oh, I want it to have that Roxy music feel, or I want it to be Yeah, it's whatever feels
Yeah.
good, I suppose.
Well, that's the best thing to go with, isn't it? So, how would you describe the evolution of your band, your band's music, that is, from when you began to what it is now?
I would say that the kind of the identity and formula's more kind of mastered and to the point, but it's always kind of kept that essence of hooks and urgency and aggression and vulnerability and kind of an authentic classic nature of being able to play your instruments and perform well. I would say that it's definitely more refined now. It's more mature. But yeah, there's always been that kind of Virgin Mary's kind of element to it, from when we started.
Yeah. I mean, I caught you guys at Firebolt Festival last year, and man, that was some set that you put in.
Oh,
thanks, man. Yeah, it's as I say, we've only been at two now for what is it, about 18 months or
yeah.
And I don't know, it's a weird thing really. I guess because me and Ali have been together, we've always been in different other bands and we just know each other so well. Like we could get in a rehearsal room and we could jam for an hour and I know when he's going to go heavy, he knows when I'm going to go light. It's a weird thing, and yeah, I think that's kind of what
that certainly came across at Firebolt as well.
I think
there
was
a lot of talk of there's a lot of there were a lot of talk in the crowd as how are they going to sound as a two-piece, and well, you left them blown away.
Yeah,
no doubt about
I think like certainly when Danny mentioned kind of Roxy Music and there's kind of some of that kind of post-punk stuff where the drums and the bass are really solid, and since becoming the two-piece, we've had to kind of really kind of hone in on certain elements of the band to make it bigger and more dynamic. And I guess we've been playing together more than ever just because it's me and Dan have always kind of put this first, and sometimes when you're playing with people who have other commitments, you don't get to rehearse as much. But as the two, we've been doing it for that long that we kind of really lock in together. And I think when something's that tight, it can make it sound bigger and more powerful.
Yeah. So you got some new music on the horizon?
Yes, mate. Yeah. I mean, Al's always writing, so there's loads and loads of songs to go at. It's just a case of getting in the studio, and that's what we're doing at the moment, sort of deciding which ones are going to make the album, which ones aren't. So yeah, I mean, this it all kind of comes together pretty quick with us, stuff like this. You tell really from flushing out songs within a couple of weeks, like that one's going to be a strong one, that one's So yeah, I mean, we must have like, I don't know, 20 odd different songs. So to whittle it down to whatever it's going to be, 10 or 12 tracks, it's going to be good. I said to her today, actually, it's like I can tell it's going to be a good album. Just from
really looking forward to hearing. Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
I think you've kind of answered my next question, but I'll fire it anyway. Do you have any particular routine or settings that help you to get into the songwriting zone?
No, I mean, like sometimes songs can come through rehearsing, and I think that they tend to come when you're not thinking and it's not forced. So it's almost like you have to channel and be in the right headspace for it to work. So it's difficult to I've never really been able to put pressure on myself, or I've certainly been able to do that, but it doesn't result in the best work. The best work kind of comes when you're picking up a guitar and you're almost kind of meditating with it, and something else kind of, it's almost like a gift that comes. So there's no kind of like said the way that we do it. Yeah, they can kind of come from anywhere, but the best way is just not to. The best way is to have fun with it, and
Of course.
play the songs that you buzz off rather than wanting it to sound like
Yeah.
I'm gonna write a song like kind of I don't know Metallica or Royal Blood or whatever. There's never really incredible work that comes out that way. I don't think.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. So, what do you believe both of your strengths to be within the band?
Um,
I bring the humour.
yeah. Um, I don't know really. I guess I don't know. I think probably, as I say, we've been in so many different bands and played with so many different people, and at the end of the day, it's still me and Al, which kind of feels like it's just I don't know. We both really enjoy playing with each other, and as I say, I can already tell when he's going to do a tune or if he comes up with a new tune. I just know instinctively where he's gonna go with it, and I think it's the same with me. He knows where I'm gonna go with it or where I want to take it, and
Yeah. I just jumped up then because I'm known as Catman. We've got 5 cats in our house, and I just heard 2 of them scrapping, and it's quite often that they
Ah,
just bust into the room. And so if you hear a lot of meowing
gosh,
and
yeah, man,
see a lot of
yeah.
spitting fur, it's our cats.
ah.
Okay, so right then. So, are there any artists, past or present, dead or alive, who you'd really love to do a collaboration with?
I would love to do a collaboration with. I'd love to do something with Michael Stipe from REM. I'd love to do some stuff in, the kind of hip hop realm with, RZA or kind of LP from Run the Jewels. So that's me.
Um, yeah, I don't know really. Maybe somebody like Kate Bush or Debbie Harry from Blondie would be cool. That kind of I like the idea of them voices against Ali's voice would be pretty cool.
I once met Debbie Harry here in Sheffield. My son's band Coyote Bad Seeds were playing in the O2 at the same time they were playing downstairs, and
Awesome.
she stopped by and had a chat. Lovely lady.
No way.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
was she like? Was
No,
she all right?
yes. Oh, so laid back, so down to earth. You know, offered our Joe a bit of experience and that. Yeah, top lady. Yeah. So, right. So, what's your approach to engaging with the crowd during gigs? Then?
I struggle to do that as I think that it's great to engage with the crowd. It really works for certain bands.
Mm.
I think that both me and Dan are quite shy, and we do the performance. Well, I know that I'm very shy, so you can express yourself a lot better during the songs and kind of rehearsed. But I've never really, I don't want to get into rehearsing on stage kind of banter, and because I've never been able to do it. It feels a little bit kind of fake for myself. But yeah, I mean, it's great on, speaking out to the crowd. There's obviously a balance where you don't, it needs to be more music, but
Oh yeah, yeah. So what's the short term and long term goals that you have for the band now?
Um, I don't know really. We don't really tend to look too far ahead anymore. Just because I don't know. There's been that many ups and downs in everything we've done that yeah, we've found now the best thing to do is just have a really short term goal on what we want to do, and like so our short term goal this year is just is to do this album, and I mean last year we toured so much and we gained so many new fans. And it feels good again. Playing it feels fresh again, really doing it as a two. It's more challenging. And it definitely feels like the reception has gone up in the last, it just did this last year over. And that's exciting. So what we want to do is put out this next album and see how that gets received. And obviously we've got loads more touring again to do this year. So again, just see how we go with it. But it's one of these industries where if you lose your heart with it, there's definitely a year or so where it feels like you're going through the motions, and it's just that's the worst thing. So I kind of I don't think we think that far ahead anymore. It's just a case of putting out what we want to put out and making it sound how we want it to, and
taking the moment for the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
So with the upcoming new album and everything, is there any surprises in there?
Is there any surprises? I think the directions are a little bit different with the newer material. I'd say like there's a segue within stuff that we've done as a two, but it's kind of moving towards its own thing. I had an idea of doing extra interludes, if that's the right word, of making the physical product, say if you bought the vinyl, have intros and kind of more of a kind of concept of Dark Side of the Moon type of thing, and keep the digital to just the kind of single format. That would be awesome to do if we could pull it off. But I don't know if you have any surprises.
No, I mean, I think it still sounds like Virgin Mary's music, but it obviously. I think there's always a bit of an evolution with us. So I think you'll still get a bit of the Virgin Mary flavor with it, but just a bit more of a progression, I think.
Yeah. So what's your interests away from Virgin Mary's then? When you're not making music.
Football. Both big United fans. Boo.
Which United?
You like cooking,
Man United.
There's only one United right here in Sheffield, with strongest team in Premiership. Hold it, rest up.
Good lad. I was going to ask you. Yeah, I was going to ask you who you going to see. Yeah. But I don't know really.
I think it's difficult if you love music and you work in music to it kind of consumes, and especially like with me and Dan being independent, kind of look after every role within the kind of business. So it's really kind of, it's very consuming. I just like to chill out and watch documentaries or interviews and exercise when I can, and just learn different things. I tend to be a bit of a hermit, to be honest, if I can get away with it.
I think that's what it is. Because we do like all the artwork, all the graphics we do. So I spend most of my time, if I'm not doing the graphics, I'm thinking about the graphics and thinking about t-shirt designs, and it just kind of takes up all your time.
Okay, so what's your perspective of the current state of the music industry? We've seen a lot of venues closing down recently. There's the Yorkshireman that's gone recently here in Sheffield, very sadly, and it's a bit hard at the moment, isn't it?
It's harder than it's ever been, definitely.
Most definitely.
It's harder for acts now than it's ever been, and you're right. It seems like there's more and more smaller level grassroots venues closing all the time, and if they're not closing, they're really struggling. I know at least 3 people off the top of my head, mates of mine, that before COVID were obviously in the music industry, and now they're not in the music industry because it's just it's killed it. And I don't know. I mean, it feels like it's felt like for about 5-6 years people have been waiting for a change, and I don't know. I don't know if it's going to get worse before it gets better or.
Yeah,
it's tough.
It seems to be.
You wonder if it can get any worse at the minute. With like you said, with the amount of small venue closures, because without them, there's no hope for the new bands, is there?
Not really. I mean, like a lot of people seem to kind of be online a lot more, kind of filming their performances and kind of vlogging, and maybe that's more of the future of because people just aren't going out as much, are they? So
no, sadly,
I don't know how the new up and comers tackle it, but yeah, it is a shame. We were only saying like 10 years ago when we signed to a label, none of us even had smartphones, and they were kind of really pressing social media and the importance of it. And we were thinking, like, not doing that, we're not doing. And how it's shifted over that decade is insane. How quickly it moves. And probably half the staff of that label aren't there anymore. And yeah, you just you don't know what to expect. Really, it's a hard one to predict.
I think social media's played a big part as well. I mean, now when I was younger, if a new album come out, you went down to your local record shop, you'd be queuing up to get your first copies of it and everything. With your money ready to buy the album, with a percentage going to the band and everything. Nowadays, you've got Spotify where you can just tune in, listen, and Bob's your uncle. And that takes to me. I mean, I do use Spotify a lot. I will be honest, but I do prefer to buy CDs and merch and stuff.
No, it's definitely more kind of special, wasn't it, back in the day, and more like I don't know if romantic's the right word, but there was something more about it. So many times, like I'd make sure that, or I'd give an album so many listens before I kind of decided that I didn't like it because you'd spent your money on it. Like now you might listen to something and just like dismiss it, but some of those albums that you spent more time on, tended to be, become your favorite stuff and open up new doors. So it's
definitely. I think that's definitely probably the worst thing about the way everybody the way we all get our music now. It's just so instant and so throwaway. I think most people, if someone said, check out the Virgin Marys, they're going to listen to whichever the biggest song on our Spotify is, give it 10 seconds. And if it's not if they're not there in 10 seconds, they're on something else. And I was right. Like,
nobody listens to albums anymore. And,
exactly.
I mean, well, my son's band, Coyote Mad Seeds, they've just released an album, but before that, it were all EPs. And I kept saying to Joe, I said, you need to do an album. And he argued, no, we don't, because nobody listens to albums, Dad, And, when you ask around the younger generation now, I think he's right.
I know, it is sad, really sad. It's like, and don't know what. It's sad that magic's gone, it's hard, isn't it? Because I think we could go back as a kid and someone said, "Oh, you can have all this music for free." Any album you want. You don't have to get on a train and go to Manchester and go to HMV. You'd of course say but knowing the magic of going down and getting that album and coming home and spending hours and hours over and over, like listening to it. It's it's just, I don't know. It's kind of, it feels like it's cheapened the whole, music and music in general.
Yeah. So, changing subject completely. Have you, over the years, as a band, have you had any funny moments, any Spinal Tap moments that you can share with us?
Spinal Tap moments. We did a gig for Rock Radio in Glasgow back in the day. They were like one of our first supporters, and we were staying in the Travel Lodge, and I think I must have been the one that decided to stay longest for the party, the after show party, and I went to all the different Travel Lodges. It turned out there was 4 Travel Lodges in Glasgow, and I literally went
Oh,
to
yeah.
every single one before I found. Yeah, I was that close to like sleeping in front of WH Smiths, but yeah, that was a bit of a hello Cleveland moment.
Okay. So, any upcoming shows to share with us?
Yeah, we're going on tour next week, with Sisters of Mercy around Europe, and then the next UK shows will be with Ugly Kid Joe in March, I believe. But we'll have like a headline tour at the end of later on in the year, to go with the album.
Yeah, well, keep me posted with that, and obviously with your new music as well. We'll get that out on Catman's Rocks here without an issue at all.
Cheers, man.
So,
Cheers, Phil.
Yeah, so just one last plug then, your social media sites, your websites where fans can buy your music and your merch, which we like you to do, by the way, Voodoo Cats.
Thank you.
Totally. Yeah.
It's www.thevirginmarys.com. And I'm pretty sure it's the same for everything. So www.xthevirginmarys.com.
Oh, it's just the /, is it?
/
The Virgin Marys. So
Sorry,
Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, I think, or is Instagram the Virgin Marys official? No.
Yeah, I should know.
Have a look.
Yeah. You'll get it all from our website.
Yeah. If you get it across to us, when I put this video out on on Facebook and everything, we'll put it along with your links as well.
Nice one, Phil. Cheers.
Nice one, Phil.
Yeah. Anyway, this has been the Virgin Marys. I've been Catman. Thank you all very much for listening. Danny and Ali, thank you very much indeed.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
Nice one.
Look forward to catching you on the road.
Defo, mate.
Take care.
Yeah. Cheers, man.
Cheers, kid.